Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Yatha Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabalutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Rana Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishakam Vidam Cha Om Jnana Timaranda Shah Yanajana Shalakaya Shakshurun Militam Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namo Gorva Bhistam Supurkam Gurganara Sesha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipunam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govindabhidam Ujvalam Bharatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Mande Vishwagurun Shah Divyat Bhagavad Premnavi Bijapradam Devam Divyatanum Suchandabaranam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sareka Varanam Vairagya Vidyamburim Sri Siddhanta Nedim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Manditam Shubaram Mareka Sharanam Nyashishwara Sridharam Vanshakopatarubyasya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavenibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami with translation and commentary given by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. This is Madhya-lila chapter 1, the later pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. And what's being discussed here is some poetry of Srila Rupa Goswami. Mahaprabhu is engaged in the Rathayatra. He's in the Rathayatra, and Mahaprabhu is reciting this verse that nobody can really understand except Swarup Damodar. Swarup Damodar can understand, but others can't understand why Mahaprabhu is reciting this verse. The verse is, Yo Kumara Harasa Eva Ivaras Ta Eva Chaitra Chapas Te Chonmilita Malati Suravaya Proda Karambanila Sa Chaivasmi Tatapi Tatra Suratat Vyapara Lila Vilo Reva Rodasi Vedasi Taru Tale Cheta Samutkantate. That very personality who stole away my heart during my youth is now again my master. These are the same moonlit nights of the month of Chaitra. The same fragrance of malati flowers is there, and the same sweet breezes are blowing from the Kadamba forest. In our intimate relationship, I am also the same lover, but still my mind is not happy here. I am eager to go back to that place on the bank of the Reva under the Vedasi tree. That is my desire. So, Srila Govindamar has explained where it says, Ya Kumara Hara. Here it's translated as that very personality who stole away my heart during my youth. Govindamar says, actually, you could also say that this means Ya Kumara Hara, that person who stole my youth or took away my youth. And it's expressed from a female point of view. So it's referring to a person's first lover. And it's said as I said, from the female point of view, so nobody can understand why is Mahaprabhu reciting this verse during the Rathayatra. The Rathayatra ceremony, the Rathayatra parade is going on. Mahaprabhu's dancing in front of the Rath cars, and he's reciting this verse, and people can't understand it. But as I said, Swarup Damodar, he can understand it, but also what's indicated here is Rupa Goswami, he writes a parallel verse. So I'll start with that parallel verse. It says, priyah soyam Krishna sahachari Kurukshetra militas tataham sa radha tat idam ubayo sangama sukam tatapi anta kelan madhura murali panchamajushe mano me kalindi pulina vipinaya spriyayati. This is a verse spoken by Srimati Radharani. My dear friend, now I have met my very old and dear friend Krishna on the field of Kurukshetra. I am the same Radharani, and now we are meeting together. It is very pleasant, but still I would like to go to the bank of the Jamuna, beneath the trees of the forest there. I wish to hear the vibration of his sweet flute playing the fifth note within that forest of Vrindavan. So this is really what is meant by that mystic verse that Mahaprabhu is reciting during the Rathayatra. It's really referring to the moods of Srimati Radharani when she meets with Krishna. All the residents of Vrindavan went to Kurukshetra during the time of I believe it's a solar eclipse, and they're meeting with Krishna, who's come from Dwarka with many wives and soldiers and everything. So the mood of Srimati Radharani is she's very happy to see Krishna after some time, but in her mood of separation, she's not satisfied seeing Krishna as a king or as a prince, but she wishes to take Krishna back to Vrindavan, where they knew each other during their youth. So that is Mahaprabhu's mood in the Rathayatra, that he's wanting to take Krishna back to Vrindavan. Because, why is that? Because where the Rathayatra takes place is in Nilachala. And the temple, in the temple of Nilachala is Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. So that is more like Dwarka, because Subhadra, she was never in Vrindavan. They're together in Dwarka, and then the parade, the Rathayatra cars, they go from Nilachala to Gundicha, and Gundicha is Vrindavan. So during the Rathayatra, Mahaprabhu is expressing the mood of Radharani, who wants to take Krishna back to Vrindavan, to the place of their early pastimes. And it's all expressed in a deep mood of separation. And that mood of separation corresponds to when the residents of Vrindavan, Srimati Radharani and Mother Yashoda and everyone went to Kurukshetra, and there they met with Krishna. So many years had passed. Eshlokera Sankeparta Shuna Bhaktagan Jagannath Deki Jaiche Prabhura Bhavan. Now, all devotees, please hear a brief explanation of this verse. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was thinking in this way after having seen the Jagannath deity. Sri Radhika Kurukshetra Krishnara Darshan Jajapi Payena Tabu Bhavena Aichan. The subject of his thoughts was Srimati Radharani, who met Krishna on the field of Kurukshetra. Although she met Krishna there, she was nonetheless thinking of him in the following way. Rajavesh Hati Goda Manusya Gahan Kahan Gopavesh Kahan Nirjana Vrindavan. She thought of him in the calm and quiet atmosphere of Vrindavan, dressed as a cowherd boy. But at Kurukshetra, he was in a royal dress and was accompanied by elephants, horses, and crowds of men. Thus the atmosphere was not congenial for their meeting. Say Baba, say Krishna, say Vrindavan, Jabe Pai, Tabe Hoy, Banchita, Puran. Thus meeting with Krishna and thinking of the Vrindavan atmosphere, Radharani longed for Krishna to take her to Vrindavan again, to fulfill her desire in that calm atmosphere. So this is very indicative, because we're serving Krishna in separation. We're not like the Sahajias who want to enjoy with Krishna or thinking of an intimate relationship with Krishna. Our mood of service to Krishna is Krishna, serving Krishna in separation. That was the mood of Srimati Radharani also when Krishna left Vrindavan and went away. Radharani was always serving Krishna in separation. And that is the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu shows that mood of service and separation. Ahuscha te nalina naba padaravindam yogeshvarar hridi vichintyam agarabadai samsara kupa patitottarana valambam geham jushamapi manasi udiyat sadanaha. The gopis spoke thus: Dear Lord, whose navel is just like a lotus flower, your lotus feet are the only shelter for those who've fallen into the deep well of material existence. Your feet are worshipped and meditated upon by great mystic yogis and highly learned philosophers. We wish that these lotus feet may also be awakened within our hearts, although we are only ordinary persons engaged in household affairs. So, when Uddhava was sent by Krishna to Vrindavan to speak to the residents in Vrindavan, in particular to the gopis and Srimati Radharani, he told them, though, you are very advanced and you're doing so wonderful because you are serving Krishna in separation, and this is the perfect way of, and then the gopis said, please stop. We don't really want to think of ourselves as yogis or serving in separation. We're just simple people, and we're worshiping Krishna out of love, but don't tell us how advanced we are or how we're serving as perfect yogis. We're not yogis, we're just simple people. So here, your feet are worshipped and meditated upon by great mystic yogis and highly learned philosophers. The gopis spoke thus: My dear Lord, whose navel is just like a lotus flower, your lotus feet are the only shelter for those who have fallen into the deep well of material existence. Your feet are worshipped and meditated upon by great mystic yogis and highly learned philosophers. We wish that these lotus feet may also be awakened within our hearts, although we are only ordinary persons engaged in household affairs. Tomara charanamor braja puragare udaya koraye jari tabe banjapure. The gopis thought, Dear Lord, if your lotus feet again come to our home in Vrindavan, our desires will be fulfilled. And Mahaprabhu's mood is, my heart is Vrindavan. So if you come to Vrindavan, you place your lotus feet in my heart. You appear within my heart. Bhagavater Shloka Gadarta Vishara Karinya Rupa Gosai Shloka Koila Loka Bhujaya. In one verse, Srila Rupa Goswami has explained the confidential meaning of the verse of Srimad Bhagavatam for the understanding of the general populace. Yate lila rasa primar lodgari vanya parita danya shoni vilasati vrita matura madhuribi tatras mabis chatula pashupi babum Mudgan tarabi samitas tvam kalaya vatanolasi venur viharam. The gopis continue, Dear Krishna, the fragrance of the mellows of your pastimes has spread throughout the forest of the glorious land of Vrindavan, which is surrounded by the sweetness of the district of Mathura. In the congenial atmosphere of that wonderful land, you may enjoy your pastimes with your flute dancing on your lips, and surrounded by us, the gopis, whose hearts are always enchanted by unpredictable ecstatic emotions. So really, the Adi-lila is, as Krishnadas Kaviraj says, he says that all these things of the Adi-lila, they've been explained very nicely by Vrindavandas Thakur in Chaitanya Bhagavat. So I'm not going to repeat what he said, but I will give this explanation. And then Krishnadas Kaviraj presents the Mangala Charan of 14 essential Sanskrit verses that explain what is the internal meaning of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, about Advaita, about also about what is it? Advaita, and also about Sri Krishna, Gadadhar Pandit, and then he gives Mahaprabhu. Then it is Krishnadas Kaviraj is giving the Chaitanya tree and who are all these personalities, and Srila Sridhar Maharaj has explained that this is the ontological understanding. He says you understand the ontology, then you can understand the pastimes, but the whole beginning of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Adi-lila, is giving ontology so you can understand the background. And Krishnadas Kaviraj says, already Vrindavandas Thakur has given these pastimes, so I'm not going to repeat them, but I'm going to give you some understanding. What he's doing is, I'm going to give you some understanding of what's going on. But then, really, the devotees had asked that Krishnadas Kaviraj will now give what Vrindavandas hasn't described, and that's the Madhya-lila and the Antya-lila. And this is the first chapter of Madhya-lila, and it really goes very deep. And it's like saying, well, what I'm going to start with is Srila Rupa Goswami, so that you can understand something about what Rupa Goswami is writing about and what is really our line, what is the essence. So that's where this is beginning. So it's very deep, and it's, Sanskrit verses. They're showing the poetry of Rupa Goswami. It's some of this is so, so profound. It's all profound. And this is where really the Chaitanya Charitamrita of Krishnadas Kaviraj is really, you can almost say, starting from this point. The gopis continue. Let's see. Bhagavatara Shloka, Gudharta Vishadakaranya, Rupa Gosai Shloka, Koila Loka Bhujaya. In one verse, Srila Rupa Goswami has explained the confidential meaning of the verse of Srimad Bhagavatam for the understanding of the general populace. Yate Lila Rasa Parimal Lodgari Vanyo Parita Danya Shoni Vilasati Vrita Maturi Madhuribi Tatras Mabis Chatula Pashupi Baba Mudgan Tarabi Sambitas Twam Kolaya Varanlo Asi Vinor Viharam Kambitas Tvam Kalaya Varanolasi Venor Viharam. The gopis continue, Dear Krishna, the fragrance of the mellows of your pastimes is spread throughout the forest of the glorious land of Vrindavan, which is surrounded by the sweetness of the district of Mathura. In the congenial atmosphere of that wonderful land, you may enjoy your pastimes with your flute dancing on your lips, and surrounded by us, the gopis, whose hearts are always enchanted by unpredictable ecstatic emotions. E Mata Mahaprabhu deki Jagannathe su Subhadra Sahita Deke Vamshi Nahi Hate. In this way, when Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Jagannath, he saw that the Lord was with his sister Subhadra and was not holding a flute in his hand. So he saw that here's Jagannath. He sees that Jagannath's Krishna, but he's not as a cowherd boy. He doesn't have his flute. He's with Subhadra. Subhadra is in Dwarka. So, okay. Tri Banga Sundara Vraje Vrajendra Nandan Kahan Paba Evancha Bore Anukan. Absorbed in the ecstasy of the gopis, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wished to see Lord Jagannath in his original form as Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, standing in Vrindavan and appearing very beautiful, his body curved in 3 places. His desire to see that form was always increasing. Radhika Unmada Jaiche Udavadarshane Udgurna Pralapa Taiche Prabodha Ratridine. Just as Srimati Radharani talked inconsistently with a bumblebee in the presence of Uddhava, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his ecstasy talked crazily and inconsistently day and night. The Unmada madness is This Unmada madness is not ordinary madness. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talked inconsistently, almost like a crazy fellow, he was in the transcendental ecstasy of love. In the highest transcendental ecstasy, there is a feeling of being enchanted in the presence of the enchanter. When the enchanter and the enchanted become separated, mohana, when the enchanter and the enchanted become separated, mohan, or bewilderment occurs. When so bewildered due to separation, one becomes stunned, and at that time all the bodily symptoms of transcendental ecstasy are manifested. When so bewildered due to separation, one becomes stunned, and at that time all the bodily symptoms of transcendental ecstasy are manifested. When they are manifest, one appears inconceivably crazy. This is called transcendental madness. In this state, there is imaginative discourse, and one experiences emotions like those of a madman. The madness of Srimati Radharani was explained to Krishna by Uddhava, who said, "My dear Krishna, because of extreme feelings of separation from you, Srimati Radharani is sometimes making her bed in the groves of the forest, sometimes rebuking a bluish cloud, and sometimes wandering about in the dense darkness of the forest. Thus she has become like a crazy woman." So in this, there's the Brahmara Gita. There's when Uddhava is talking to Radharani, and she begins conversing. She begins talking to a bumblebee, and really she's rebuking, she's scolding this bumblebee. Really, who she's scolding is Uddhava, and she's scolding Uddhava for being a representative of Krishna. She's saying, you are the unworthy servant of an unworthy master. That's how she addresses Uddhava. She says, Krishna sent you to give us some kind of comfort, but we don't need Krishna's condescending attitude. And then she's criticizing the bumblebee, but actually who she's talking to is Uddhava. Dwadasha Vatsara Sesha Aiche Gonaila Emata Sesha Lila Tri Vidane Koila. The last 12 years of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, I skipped some parts here. Tribanga Sundara Braje Brajendra Nandan Kahan Bhava Ebancha Boryanukan. Absorbed in the ecstasy of the gopis, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wished to see Lord Jagannath in his original form as Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, standing in Vrindavan and appearing very beautiful, his body curved in 3 places. His desire to see that form was always increasing. Radhikun Marajaji Udavadarshane Udgurna Pralapa Taiche Prabodha Ratridine. Just as Srimati Radharani talked inconsistently with a bumblebee in the presence of Uddhava, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his ecstasy talked crazily and inconsistently day and night. Dwadasha Vatsara Sesha Aiche Gonaila Emata Sesha Lila Tri Vinane Koila. The last 12 years of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were passed in this transcendental craziness. Thus he executed his last pastimes in 3 ways. Sannyas Kori Chabisha Vatsara Koila Jai Karma Ananda Paratara Ke Janive Marma. For the 24 years after Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the renounced order, sannyas, whatever pastimes he executed were unlimited and unfathomable. Who can understand the purport of such pastimes? Udesha Korite Kori Digdarshan Mukhya Mukhya Lilar Kori Sutra Ganan. Just to indicate those pastimes, I am presenting a general survey of the chief pastimes in the form of synopsis. So now what Krishnadas Kaviraj is saying, I'm now giving a synopsis of the Madhya-lila. Okay? Pratama Sutra Prabhu Sannyas Karana Sannyas Kori Chalila Prabhu Shri Vrindavan. This is the first synopsis. After accepting the sannyas order, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu proceeded toward Vrindavan. Premete Vivala Bhaya Nahika Smaran Radhadeshe Tindin Korila Brahman. While proceeding toward Vrindavan, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was overwhelmed with ecstatic love for Krishna, and he lost all remembrance of the external world. In this way, he traveled continuously for 3 days in Radhadesh, the country where the Ganges river does not flow. So, if you see Navadip, to the east of Navadip, there's the bank of the Ganga, and there's the Ganga. When you leave the Navadip Mat, you cross the Ganga, you cross the Goranga Setu, the bridge. So to the east is the Ganga, but to the west, going west, that is called Radhadesh. Going the western direction, that is Radhadesh. So after Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he wanted to go to Vrindavan, but due to some arrangements of Nityananda Prabhu and the fact that he couldn't tell where he was going, he's wandering 3 days in Radhadesh on the western side of the Ganga, going away from the Ganga. Nityananda Prabhu Mahaprabhu Bolaya Ganga Tire Loya Aila Jamuna Bolaya. First of all, Lord Nityananda bewildered Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by bringing him along the banks of the Ganga, saying that it was the river Jamuna. So what Mahaprabhu is wandering there in Radhadesh, the western side of the Ganga, and he thinks he's going to Vrindavan, and Nityananda Prabhu has instructed the boys in that area, if Mahaprabhu comes here and asks you which way it is to Vrindavan, point him towards the Ganga, but point him towards the Ganga in the direction of Shantipur, where Advaita Acharya lives. So, first of all, Lord Nityananda bewildered Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by bringing him along the banks of the Jamuna, saying that it was along the banks of the Ganga, saying that it was the river Jamuna. So all these cowherd boys that were there, they cooperated with Nityananda Prabhu, and when Mahaprabhu said, "Which way to Vrindavan?" They said, "There, that way," and they're pointing towards Shantipur and pointing towards the Ganga. But finally Mahaprabhu is gradually coming back towards the Ganga, and then he's told that the Ganga is the Jamuna, so he thinks he's gone to Vrindavan. He's wandered for 3 days without eating, and he thinks now, oh, now I've come to Vrindavan, and here's the Jamuna, but it's actually the Ganga. Shandipuri Acharjara Grihe Agaman Pratama Bhikka Koila Tahan Ratre Sankirtan. After 3 days, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to the house of Advaitacharya at Shantipur and accepted alms there. Accepted alms means he ate there. He accepted food there. This was his first acceptance of alms. He hadn't eaten in 3 days. At night he performed congregational chanting there. At night he performed Sankirtan. Mata Bhakta Ganer Tahan Korila Milan Sarva Sama Dana Kori Koila Niladri Gaman. At the house of Advaita Prabhu he met his mother as well as all the devotees from Mayapur. He adjusted everything and then went to Jagannath Puri. So first, this was after Mahaprabhu's accepted sannyas. He can't remain at home, but through Nityananda Prabhu, a meeting with Mother Sachi and all his friends and acquaintances. They meet him at the house of Advaitacharya in Shandipur, and there, Mother Sachi says to Mahaprabhu, if you go to Vrindavan, we'll never see you again. So I am requesting that you instead go to Jagannath Puri, because many people from Navadip, they're always going to Jagannath Puri, and people from Jagannath Puri are coming to Navadip, so we'll always hear news about you, and that way we won't be separated from you. I know you can't stay at home because you're a sannyasi, but I request that you go to Jagannath Puri. And Mahaprabhu accepted that request of his mother. Instead of going to Vrindavan, he went to Jagannath Puri. Pate Nana Lila Rasa Devadarshan Madhava Purir Kata Gopalastapan. On the way toward Jagannath Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed many other pastimes. He visited various temples and heard the story about Madhavendra Puri and the installation of Gopal. He heard about Madhavendra Puri going to Vrindavan and discovering Gopal. Gopal revealed himself, and they established the temple in Govardhan of Gopal. So on the way toward Jagannath Puri, Mahaprabhu performed many pastimes. He visited various temples and heard the story about Madhavendra Puri and the installation of Gopal in Vrindavan. Because later, that deity of Gopal asked Mahaprabhu to bring him some sandalwood, and he goes to Jagannath Puri. Mahaprabhu and Madhavendra Puri went to Jagannath Puri to bring that sandalwood back to Gopal. And actually, all this takes place at the temple of Ramuna on the way to and from Jagannath Puri with the sandalwood. Chir Chori Kata Saki Gopala Vivaran Nityananda Koila Prabhu Danda Banjan. From Nityananda Prabhu, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard the story of Kir Chori Gopinath and the witness Gopal. Then Nityananda Prabhu broke the sannyas rod belonging to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chir Chori Gopinath is it's actually Kir Chori Gopinath, how Gopinath hid some kheer, which is condensed milk, sweetened condensed milk, and this was given to Madhavendra Puri. Then Mahaprabhu also heard the story of Saki Gopal, of the Brahmin who was serving the old man, and then the old man was so satisfied with this poor Brahmin, he said, I want to give you my daughter as a wife in charity. And the poor Brahmin said, this can't happen. You're from an aristocratic family. They'll never accept. And he said, no, she's my daughter. I can do what I wish, and I want to give her to you. So then the poor Brahmin said, okay, then say so in front of the deity. And they said, in front of the deity of Saki Gopal. And later that deity walked all the way to what is it? What is it called? Vidyapur. I forget the name. It's actually in South India. Vidyanagar. And then Nityananda Prabhu broke the sannyas rod belonging to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu had an ekadanda staff, and Nityananda Prabhu didn't like that he had to carry that staff everywhere. He thought, he's the Supreme Lord, what does he need carrying a sannyas staff around? So Nityananda broke the sannyas staff and threw it in the river. Kruda hoya ek gela jagannath dekite dekiya morchita hoya padila bhumite. After a sannyas rod was broken by Nityananda Prabhu, Mahaprabhu apparently became very angry and left his company to travel alone to the Jagannath temple. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered the Jagannath temple and saw Lord Jagannath, he immediately lost his senses and fell to the floor. So after Nityananda broke and threw in the river Mahaprabhu's sannyas staff, Mahaprabhu later said, well, where's my sannyas staff? And Nityananda invented some story. He said, oh, you were in ecstasy and you were falling, and I tried to stop you from falling, but you fell onto the staff and it broke, and I don't know where it is now. And Mahaprabhu knew that was complete fabrication. And then Mahaprabhu said, all right, you threw away the only thing that I was really keeping, which was my sannyas staff. So now, either you go first or I go first, but I'm not going with you to Jagannath Puri. I'm done with you, and I'm going. So then they said, okay, you go ahead first. And then Mahaprabhu went first, and he went into Jagannath temple. And when he went into the Jagannath temple, he went into ecstasy and he fainted. He lost consciousness. Pierre de consciencia. That's so then they took him to the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and there. And then the rest of the devotees came into Jagannath Puri, and they heard, oh, Mahaprabhu has been taken to the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and Gopinath Acharya went there and had a discussion with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, in which Gopinath Acharya says, no, Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord, and Sarvabhauma doesn't accept that, and he says, oh, he's a young sannyasi, I have to instruct him so he won't leave his vows of sannyas. And what follows is the conversion of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya becomes converted. So after sannyas rod was broken by Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu apparently became very angry and left his company to travel alone to the Jagannath temple. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered the Jagannath temple and saw Lord Jagannath, he immediately lost his senses and fell to the floor. Sarvabhauma Loya Gela Apana Pavan Tritiya Prahare Prabhur Hoila Chaitanya. After Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Lord Jagannath in the temple and fell down unconscious, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya took him to his home. The Lord remained unconscious until the afternoon, when he finally regained his consciousness. Nityananda Jagannananda Damodar Mukunda Pachayasi Mili Sabe Pailananda The Lord had left Nityananda's company and had gone alone to the Jagannath temple, but later Nityananda, Jagadananda, Damodar, and Mukunda came to see him, and after seeing him they were very pleased. Tabe Sarvabhaume Prabhu Prashara Korila Apana Ishwara Murti Tare Dekaila. After this incident, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bestowed his mercy upon Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya by showing him his original form as the Lord. So he showed him the Sadbhuj form. Two hands of Krishna, two hands of, I believe, Ramachandra, and two hands as a sannyasi. Sadbhuj. Sadbhuj means six-handed form. Tabeta Korila Prabhu Dakina Gaman Korma Ketre Koila Vasudeva Vimochan. After bestowing mercy upon Mahaprabhu, the Lord started for South India. When he came to Kurmakshetra, he delivered a person named Vasudeva. That Vasudeva was a leper. Chiyara Nishinge Koila Nishinga Stavan Pate Pate Grame Grame Nama Pravartan. After visiting Kurmakshetra, the Lord visited the South Indian temple of Jiyara Nishinga and offered his prayers to Lord Nishingadev. On his way, he introduced the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in every village. Godavari Tirabane Vrindavana Brahma Ramananda Rai Saha Tatai Milana. Once the Lord mistook the forest on the bank of the river Godavari to be Vrindavan. In that place, he happened to meet Ramananda Roy. Trimala Sripadi Stana Koila Darshan Sarvatra Koila Krishna Nama Pracharan. He visited the places known as Tirumala and Tirupati, where he extensively preached the chanting of the Lord's holy name. Tabete Pashandigane Korila Dalan Ahovala Nishinghadi Koila Darshan. After visiting the temples of Tirumala and Tirupati, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had to subdue some atheists. He then visited the temple of Ahovala Nishinga. So I once took Srila Prabhupada to Tirupati. They asked me to arrange for Srila Prabhupada to visit Tirupati. So I did that. And actually, Prabhupada was very happy in Tirupati. So, you want?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. It's getting late. I'm going to stop for today. And tomorrow we'll continue. All right? Okay. Ready? Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Maranama Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Ganadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhaktiraguna Sri Jiva Gopala Bhattadasa Raguna Vasavar Pada Renu Mora Panchaga Sadar Charana Sevi Bhakta Saneva Janame More Amila Jai Gosai Jabe Bhaje Koilava Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Aman Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma Koriya Hare Nam Sankirtana Gohe Narakamada Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitya Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Nitya Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Tilat Neri Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmalacharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Tara Sadashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Astatara Sadashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Srila Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivedanta Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Premsigo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasri Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vishvavarenya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupad Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Kusham Ashram Maharaj ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Shri Navadip Dham ki jai, Shri Mayapur ki jai, Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Saparshada Sriman Mahaprabhu ki jai, Shri Kuladvip ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki jai, Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Sevashram ki jai, Ganga Devi ki jai, Tulasi Maharani ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Shyam Kunda Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Jo ki jai, Shri Purushottam Madam ki jai, Baladev Subhadra Jagannath Jo ki jai, Bhakti Vigna Vinashaya Srina Shringadev ki jai, Bhakta Prabhara Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Shri Kartik Vrata ki jai, Shri Damodar Vrata ki jai, Shri Niyama Seva ki jai, Shri Urja Vrata ki jai, all the assembled devotees ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.
Jai Om Vishnu Pad Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj ki jai.